Chicago as Black Lives Matter protesters try to shut down Black Friday sales. Welcome everyone, I'm Trish Regan in for Neil Cavuto, and this is your world. Protesters using the busiest shopping day of the year to target retailers along Chicago's magnificent mile, making it anything but magnificent for shoppers. Mike Tobin is in Chicago with the very latest. Mike.
And Trish, as it turns out, nothing is a police officer's friend as much as bad weather. This demonstration was supposed to start at 10 a.m. Central Time and last through 5 p.m. And just about an hour ago, 3 hours shy of the mark, it abruptly ended and everyone went home. If you look behind me up and down Michigan Avenue, that area, as you mentioned, was known as a magnificent mile. All you have are shoppers coming and going. So the retail is back in full force. But we did have hundreds of demonstrators who came out here today with an organization calling themselves the Chicago Alliance Against Racism and Political Repression. And they said they wanted to block stores. We saw them block the Crate and Barrel, the Nike store, Cole Haan, the Apple store. They made it very difficult for people to come and go. They said they wanted to advance their cause. They wanted to bring a lot of pressure for the creation of CPAC, the Citizen Police Accountability Council. And they did that. They got a lot of attention to their cause. They advocated, of course, a lot of different causes. There's always that pile-on effect. And talking with some of the people who are out here, very active, very eager to engage in this process, did they vote? The answer was no. So very eager to be part of this process, not necessarily that eager to be part of the political process. And as you can see now, it's back in retail full force. The demonstrations have dissipated. Trish?
All right, thank you so much, Mike Tobin. So who are these protesters really hurting here? I want to go to GOP strategist Jan Caldwell, former union organizer Stuart Acuff, and attorney Christy Kunzig. Good to see all you guys. Christy, I'll start with you. I mean, they're trying to get certain policy ideas accomplished somehow, some way, but they're out there in the streets protesting. As you heard Mike say, a lot of them didn't vote. How are they advancing their cause at all?
They're really not. They're, getting some coverage, which maybe is getting people to hear what they have to say, but It's not an effective way for them to do what they would like to do. They're really hurting the people who want to go shopping, who are the people that are living in the neighborhoods with them. Those people want to go for Black Friday. They're not really hurting the businesses, and they don't really have their goals defined very well. They kind of are all over the place in what they actually want to achieve here. And so they're protesting President-elect Donald Trump. They're protesting racism, saying that cops are being racist and targeting minorities. So they're a little bit scattered, and then, as we just heard, they're not out voting, so that's really when they have the right to get their points across.
Yeah, they're making life difficult for anybody who wants to go and actually shop in Chicago, which, if you think about it, Jano, their economy is critical to their well-being. Sometimes they lose sight of perhaps the big picture in all of this. I mean, if people can't get in and out of the stores, ultimately that's not good for the community.
Yeah, you're right, Trish, and I'm from Chicago. I lived just a matter of a couple of blocks from where they're currently protesting, or where they were protesting. I want everybody to think about this number because I believe this is a very powerful number. 47% is the representation of African Americans between the ages of 20 and 24 years old. Those folks are largely unemployed. So the folks that happen to be employed and may have a job downtown Chicago, those that are lucky enough to have that, they have to think about what these protests are doing in terms of these individuals' employment. In addition to that, I agree with the fact that this Black Lives Matter theme largely hasn't had real policies, prescriptions, and a way to get it done. I think that's problematic on many levels. And I think if they're going to do something like this, maybe they should say, hey, let's bring all folks to the table to talk about these very systemic issues in our community.
Well, okay, so you're getting back to the root issue that all lives matter, not just Black Lives Matter. We should bring everyone into this equation to improve life for everyone. Stuart,
Trish, may I? Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the truth is that there is a specific need to protest officially sanctioned murder of African Americans in our society. There's a specific need in Chicago to protest torture, forced confessions, police beatings.
Stuart, I think the studies have proven this one out. No, but the studies, I just have to point this out, they have shown, Stuart, over and over again. In fact, we have not seen African Americans suffer as a result of police officers. If anything, police officers right now sort of the ones that are suffering. 67% increase in the number
How many
of
black
deaths.
kids need to be murdered before we see it as a problem? And yes, all lives matter, but right now we have a specific problem with black lives. And Giannu, I'm sorry, but there are
Stuart,
specific policy. Will you let me finish? Make a point?
Okay, finish.
Specifically, there is a policy recommendation. There is a policy recommendation in Chicago, and that's the CPAC. It's also protest against Mayor Emanuel's 2-week
I think what you're doing is demonstrating exactly what Black Lives Matter does. They argue over everyone. There's no policy specifics. And you just yell.
In Chicago, there is a policy specific. Giannu, you're just wrong.
For you to come on Fox News Channel with that kind of rhetoric is very dangerous, and I think it resembles that of many folks that protest, like Occupy Wall Street. I'm pretty sure you were part of that movement.
This demonstration has its roots in the picketing and the boycott of stores during the Civil Rights Movement in the early and mid-'60s. That's where this demonstration has its roots. And we're on national TV talking about it and talking about the murder of black kids. That is a victory. Just that we're raising it and talking about it.
Sir, okay, so you see this as a plus because, you know, here they're commanding some time on national airwaves.
Not just that.
And there are, protests going on. We're looking at live pictures of it right now.
Not just that. Why do you put words in my mouth? Trish, this is ridiculous.
Forgive me, Stuart, if that's not what you said. I thought you just said that the protests were a positive thing.
Neil would never put that, and that's not the only thing the protesters are doing. They're challenging their city, the people in their city, to look with compassion on black lives and black kids and African Americans.